We have audits by Price Waterhouse. We have to report 13Fs to the SEC. So I think there's plenty of disclosure and transparency.
You also don't engage in things like short selling.
Why would you want to take a bet, Steve, where your maximum upside is a double and your maximum downside is bankruptcy? It never made any sense to me. So why go there?
You focus on a handful of individual investors, maybe institutional investors, but people who know you,
Right.
are with you. You're not part of a formula, not spit out of a computer.
That's right.
What's an individual investor to do? You have some unique advice for individual investors.
Well, the best thing for an individual investor to do is to invest in index funds. But even before we go there, Charlie Munger was asked at one of the Berkshire annual meetings by a young man, "How can I get rich?" And Munger's response was very simple. He said, if you consistently spend less than you earn and invest it in index funds, dollar cost average, because you're putting in money every paycheck. He said that in about 20, 30, or 40 years, you can't help but be rich. It's just bound to happen. And so any individual investor, if they just put away 5, 10, 15% of their income every month, and they just bought into the low-cost index funds, and just 2 or 3 of them, just split it amongst them, you're done. There's nothing else to be done. Now, if you go to active managers, the stats are pretty clear. 80 to 90% of active managers underperform the indices. But even the 10 or 20% who do, only 1 in 200 managers outperforms the index consistently by more than 3% a year. So the chances that an individual investor will find someone who'll beat the index by more than 3% a year is less than 1%. It's 0.5%. So it's not worth playing that game.
And in terms of index funds, S&P 500 or?
I'd say Vanguard is a great way to go. I think you could do S&P 500 index, you could do the Russell 2000, and if you wanted to, you could do an emerging market index. But I think if you just blend those three, 1/3 each, you're done. And if you're in your 20s and you start doing this, you don't need to even go into bonds and other things. You can just do this for a long time and you'll be fine.
On TV, when these folks make recommendations, you compare it to, if you buy something that you heard somebody recommend on TV, as going into the Roach Motel. Can you please explain?
Well, you remember those ads that ran where the roaches check in,
Yeah.
but they never check out. So the thing is, you watch some talking head on TV and he tells you go buy whatever company, Waste Management or Citigroup. When its price gets cut in half, he's nowhere to be found. And now you're like that roach in the Roach Motel and you don't know what to do. You don't know whether you should hang on or sell or stay. So the only reason...
Or if it goes up,
yeah,
get out?
yeah. If it
wait?
goes up 10% or 50% or 100%, what are you supposed to do? Do you want to go for long-term gains, short-term gains? Basically, you have no roadmap. So the only way one should buy stocks is if you understand the underlying business. You stay within circle of competence. You buy businesses you understand. And if you understand the business, you understand what they're worth. And that's the only reason you ought to buy a stock.
And looking around the world, you made mention, I think, in the past, if you want an index fund with emerging markets, okay. But you take a skeptical eye to investing in other countries around the world. You don't preclude it, but you see some
Well, Steve,
risks.
There's plenty of great opportunities in many countries. But I would say it's probably a no-brainer to avoid Russia, Zimbabwe. And even if you look at a place like China, which I think will create incredible amount of wealth for humanity in this century, the average Chinese company has 3 sets of books. One for the government, and one for the owner's wife, and one for the owner's mistress. And so the problem you have is you don't know which set of books you're looking at. And so I think in Chinese companies or even in Indian companies, you have to add another layer, which is you have to handicap the ethos of management. And that can get very hard, especially when someone like me is sitting in Irvine with naps in the afternoon trying to figure that out.
You also say you don't think you get much talking to CEOs because they're in the business of sales.
Yeah, the average CEO, first of all, the average public CEO is a person you'd be happy to have your daughter marry, any 5 of them. But they got to those positions because they have charisma and they are great salespeople. Now, you cannot lead, you cannot be a leader without being an optimist. So CEOs are not deceitful. I think they're high integrity people. But if you sit down with a high charisma CEO of an oil company and he knows everything about oil and you know nothing about oil, by the time you finish that meeting, you just want to run out and buy all the stock of his company that you can. And it's just not the right way to go about it. So you're better off not taking the meeting, but looking at what he's done over the last 10 or 15 or 20 years. So not being mesmerized by charisma will probably help you.
And what areas are you looking at right now? I remember back in 1968, 69, we did a story on Buffett when he was fairly unknown, and he was getting out of the market, height of the bull market of the 60s. And 5 years later, after the crash of 73, 74, we went out to see him again to see what he was saying after the market had gone down 50, 60%. And he politically incorrectly said that he felt like a sex maniac in a harem because of all the bargains around. You probably had the same feeling a year ago. What do you see? How does the harem look now?
That's right. In 1969, Warren told you that I feel like a sex-starved man on a deserted island. And in 74, that deserted island had become a harem.
Right.
Well, nowadays we're twiddling our thumbs. It's good that I enjoy playing racquetball and bridge and so on. So there's a lot of bridge, there's a lot of racquetball, and I have an eye out on the markets, but there's just